Greetings! You're watching breaking news on the Creative Society TV channel. For the first time in history, all of humanity is facing a common external enemy. That enemy is climate. On May 7th, 2022, an international online forum, Global Crisis We Are People, We Want to Live, took place. It showed how, in the face of planetary danger, it is necessary to unite all people for the sake of the future of mankind. We have one of the hosts of the forum as our guest. Olga, hello. Please tell us about the importance of the forum and your participation in its presentation and organization.
Hello, Nahbi. It is a pleasure for me to be here today. I was one of the hosts at the forum, the International Forum Global Crisis. We are people, we want to live. And I have to tell you that it is an honor. It was an honor for me to be hosting such an important, such a vital event. Because honestly, today, I cannot think of a single thing that is most important than the information that was voiced at this forum. So many people, millions of people joined together just to put this forum together for everyone, because so many volunteers from around the world, so many participants of the Creative Society project around the world understand the importance of the forum, understand the importance of the truth that was voiced. And I have to tell you first that this forum was simultaneously interpreted into 100 languages and streamed live to thousands of media channels and platforms.
Thank you, Olga. Why is climate the main and the most important enemy of humanity?
Today, climate disasters are destroying millions of people around the world. And finally, at this forum, we voiced why climate is changing, what is the true cause of climate change, and also what is very important is that it's only going to continue to get worse and worse, and we never know when the climate disaster will strike next. There's nothing that's stopping us from solving any kind of problem. So, for example, the wars that we see today worldwide, what is stopping us from just sitting together and stopping all those problems altogether? Do we really want to go and kill another human being? I would say no. Why? Why would we even want to even think about killing someone else so that someone who is not fighting in that war would get more powerful and have more money at our expense? But we are the people and we want to live. So we see that today it's more important than ever to unite and to put all of our scientific potential together, all of our attention together in order to figure out the solution that on how to combat this climate change that is happening worldwide. Because during the forum, we know that it's gonna eventually hit everyone. And the scariest thing is that we're not going to be warned. I mean, look at all the examples, all the eyewitnesses that were presented during the forum. All of them said that we were not warned. And today, since climate is our number one enemy, because we cannot sit down with climate and negotiate. We cannot do that. And we know that because of the cyclicity of 12,000 years, which was also mentioned during the forum, we know that it will only continue to get worse. So, I have to say, and I think people that have watched the forum, they understand the importance. I have to say that today it is so important for us to put our differences aside. People, we're not enemies to each other. We're really not enemies to each other. Everybody on this world wants to live. I would say 99% of people want to live in a peaceful, safe world where we all respect each other. And we can do this today because our only enemy is climate change, which will attack at any moment. We don't know where it's going to attack and then how many more refugees we're going to have.
Olga, I completely agree with you. The consumerist format of society is leading us all to death. What can each person who has watched the forum and understood the importance of the information voiced in it do?
Today, the most important thing, right now we're in the informational stage. We know that by ourselves, there's really not much we can do globally. We need to unite all together. We need to unite our attention together into one goal in order to make changes. So what can each person do today? that watch the forum. If you watch the forum, you already understand how critical the situation is today. I believe there is not one person that has watched it and said, it's no big deal, it'll pass. No, I think every single person knows that the situation is very critical and we need to act, and we need to act now. So if you watched it, please share it. Cut it into pieces, maybe fragments that you found the most powerful or the most important to you. You can divide them into pieces, post it on your social media, share it with your friends. Maybe you would like to record a video feedback with your, insights and your more information that you have. Send it to us, or just post it on your social media and tag the Creative Society. It is very easy right now to inform all the people, because all the people right now, every single person knows that something's going on in the world and it's not right, that we need to change it. But not many people know the solution, that there is a solution that already exists, which is the Creative Society. And right now it is up to us, those that know about the solution, to share it with everyone else, so that everyone else has this opportunity to act, has this opportunity to share, and has this opportunity to be part of this global, amazing project.
Thank you so much, Olga, for sharing such important information. You can watch the forum in more than 100 languages on the official website of the Creative Society project, creativesociety.com. Next, watch in this episode. On May 6th, a heavy downpour caused widespread flooding in West Virginia, USA. Unfortunately, there were casualties. A state of emergency was declared in several counties. The flooding damaged homes, power lines, and blocked roads. The city of Huntington was the hardest hit. Coming up next, breaking news reporters will tell us what else happened recently in America.
This is the breaking news reporter from the USA. On April 29th, 2022, a deadly tornado struck the state of Kansas in the United States. Unfortunately, there are casualties and injuries. The violent tornado completely wiped out over 100 homes and about 1,000 buildings were damaged. Roads were blocked. More than 15,000 residents were left without power. In addition, it is known that tornadoes are not the only natural disaster to haunt this state. Large hail has also been reported. On May 5th, torrential rains caused flash floods in Arkansas and Oklahoma. Approximately 114 millimeters of rain per day fell in the city of Rogers, Benton County. This figure almost reached the average month's amount of rainfall. At the same time, the city of Muskogee, Oklahoma recorded almost 182 millimeters of rainfall, just above the monthly average. Rapidly arriving torrents of rain flooded bridges, cars, and homes. Rescue operations were conducted in flooded, inaccessible areas in order to evacuate people. On the same day, in Seminole County, a devastating tornado at over 210 kilometers per hour caused significant damage to residents. In the video, we see debris of construction materials and destroyed homes. Shelters have been set up for displaced people.
Hello, this is Haiti Breaking News Reporter. On April 30th, 2022, flood and landslides occurred in the eastern Caribbean Sea on the island of Guadeloupe. There are casualties and injuries. In just 12 hours, more than 300 of millimeters of rain fell in the region, exceeding the figures for a decade ago. Several roads were temporarily closed and power supplies was interrupted. Beginning in early May 2022, heavy rains pummeled southern Brazil, causing floods and landslides. In 72 hours, over 300 of millimeters of rains fell in some parts of Santa Catarina state, almost 3 times the monthly norm. Unfortunately, lives were lost. Houses were flooded, destroyed, and damaged. Trees were felled, and traffic on roads was suspended. A state of emergency was declared in several municipalities. The level of Uruguay River exceeded the dangerous mark. More than 7,500 of people have been displaced from their homes. A total of about 44,000 people have been affected. Haiti Breaking News, Mickinson François.
Residents of Brazil have been facing catastrophic floods for months, and many witnesses to these disasters say that they simply don't know what to expect next, because people receive neither timely information before nor the necessary help after. And in the meantime, the climate is becoming more and more dangerous and unpredictable. Next, an eyewitness from Petropolis will tell us about the biggest disaster he has ever experienced.
My name is Wesley Dennis. I am from Petropolis in the mountainous region of Rio de Janeiro. And I want to tell you a little bit about what happened on February 15th. I was downtown. When it started raining hard in the afternoon, around 2 p.m., the streets of the city were flooded, and landslides began to come down. We noticed that there was a lot of water, and the water was muddy, and we got the impression that something had happened in the neighborhoods surrounding downtown. I was very surprised because the center was completely flooded. The water was above my height. Cars were underwater, and people were holding on to poles. The worst tragedy happened in Alto da Serra in Morro da Oficina, and we got reports that the situation there was very bad. A school was affected. There were injured children and dead people. There was a lot of destruction. I'm 29 years old and I've never seen anything like that. It's very sad because it leads to increased unhappiness and inequality, leaving people without homes, many of them in shelters. We have over 800 people in official shelters today, but even official shelters can't handle the number of people in the city. So I don't think anyone expected something like this here in the city. And I think this tragedy has hit people the hardest. I think the increase in poverty and unemployment and the number of homeless people who have nothing to eat is all because of the disproportionately heavy rains that we didn't expect, and that ended up hitting the city. I think things are changing. What happened in Petropolis could happen in any other city in Brazil as well as in other parts of the world.
In the face of rapid climate change, an accurate system for predicting cataclysms is essential. But in the consumerist format of society, it is virtually impossible to create such tools. Because even forecasting has been turned into a business or instrument of manipulation. Because of the inaccurate forecast of the approaching deadly typhoon Rai, in the Philippines. People could not prepare in time, which led to huge losses. Mirani Rahman, an eyewitness of this typhoon, will tell us about it next.
My name is Mirani Gajana Raman, Mrs. Philippines World. I was born and raised in Mindanao, Philippines. I experienced the Typhoon Odette, which was level 5 typhoon. I feel like it was the worst typhoon that I ever experienced. I saw the devastation with my very own eyes since I was there on a mission. And then it was like heavy rain, at the same time strong wind, like a whistling wind. It will blow you out. And we were trying to get more information at that time, and we could not get it because of, just all of a sudden no electricity and everything like blackout. So it was very scary experience. The houses were destroyed, and beside electricity, water was gone. Also, there was no enough food because, everything was destroyed by the typhoon. Filipinos are very, when there's a calamity or any problems, Filipinos help each other. So the government officials, even the citizens, everyone, they help each other. They just give a helping hands, like giving the food, even a small amount of money, food, or sharing anything, whatever they have, they could offer. It's just like, we call it bayanihan, like helping one another. And that's how Filipinos survive. The government gave notice, and it was on the national TV that there will be a typhoon. So everyone was kind of aware that there will be a typhoon coming in a week. But the people were not aware that the typhoon will be a super typhoon level number 5. And that's when the people got shocked, and they never expected that it will be a worse typhoon. Like it will be destroying their houses, whistling winds, very strong winds that could destroy any buildings, even the malls. So it was very devastating. My goal is to spread awareness and to be their voice, especially at the international level. I actually talk about this at the media in the Philippines, that is my main goal, to help the people. We all need to gather together and, unite and help each other. And we can come back more stronger.
If you have witnessed a climate anomaly, send your video footage to climate@creativesociety.com. On May 7th, a flash flood destroyed part of the historic Hassanabad Bridge linking Pakistan and China. Due to record high temperatures, the Shishpar Glacier melted, causing the volume of water in the glacier lake to increase by 40% in just 20 days. As a result, a huge amount of flood water fell on the surrounding areas. More than 20 houses and buildings were destroyed, and the water supply system failed. A few days earlier, Pakistan has set a record high temperature for April. For example, April 30th, Jakanabad record plus 120 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 49 degrees Celsius. Next, watch the mudslide in Afghanistan and the dust storm in Iraq.
In the first days of May 2022, heavy rains caused widespread flooding in 12 provinces of Afghanistan. More than 30 people were killed by the natural disaster. Over 40 people were injured. The provinces of Baghdad, Parwan, Faryab, and Baghlan suffered the greatest destruction. Many settlements were literally drowned in torrents of water mixed with clay. The disaster destroyed about 500 houses and damaged about 2,000. Almost 1,500 hectares of crops were damaged, and a large part of the livestock of agricultural animals perished. Some roads were blocked because of the mudslides. Earlier, on May 1st, Baghdad and other cities in large parts of Iraq were covered by a strong dust storm. Dozens of people were hospitalized with respiratory problems. Air traffic was cut off because of the poor visibility. A few days later, another dust storm struck Iraq. The number of people seeking medical assistance exceeded 5,000.
On May 7th, a tornado struck the village of Romari, located on the banks of the Brahmaputra River in Assam province, India. It took locals by surprise as this phenomena is a very rare event for the area. The incident damaged homes of local residents and adjacent farmland. Watch next more about disasters in other Asian countries and beyond.
On May 2nd and 3rd, 2022, intense precipitation with thunderstorms took place in Spain. In the region of Murcia, heavy rains caused the Mula River, which flows through Los Baños, to flood, as well as landslides on the area's access road. All roads and highways crossing the river were closed. Heavy hail turned the streets into rivers. Garden trees and greenhouses were damaged. In Valencia, traffic on the roads was almost impossible due to heavy rains. All tunnels, as well as several metro and tram lines, were blocked. Several people got stuck in cars. In 24 hours, more than 200 millimeters of precipitation per square meter fell in Valencia, which was the rainiest May Day in the last 150 years. A tornado was recorded in the municipality of Pliego. On May 5th, flash floods hit the southern provinces of Thailand. Unfortunately, there are casualties. Also, one person went missing after being washed away by floodwaters. Roads and bridges were damaged. The flood affected more than 350 households. In some places, the water level reached 1 meter. On May 10th through 12th, heavy rains in northern Vietnam caused flash floods and landslides. Local rivers burst their banks and flooded coastal residential areas. Dozens of people were injured as a result. Unfortunately, there are casualties. Due to the fast and strong flow of floodwaters, many people did not have time to evacuate and were trapped in their own homes. The flood damaged hundreds of houses and destroyed some farmland. The greatest damage was inflicted on the provinces of Lang Son, Bac Can, Bac Giang, and Lao Cai. Earlier, on May 9th in Boise, Idaho, USA, almost 46 centimeters of snow fell in 12 hours. Trees and branches that fell under the weight of wet snow damaged cars and power lines, leaving several thousand people without electricity.
Every major natural disaster is evidence of global climate change. Millions of people around the world are suffering from its effect, and we should already be studying the real causes of the climate change and looking for solutions. But still, billions of dollars are being spent on peddling the myth of CO2 when human lives are at stake. At the international online forum Global Crisis, We Are People, We Want to Live, experts and scientists voiced all the facts about the real scale of the multiple crises of the consumerist format and the growing danger of climate and ecological disaster.
The last war of humanity is already going on. We are under attack by the enemy against whom we have no weapons.
Are we aware of the tremendous losses humanity has already suffered in this war? Now, while our attention is diverted away from our only common enemy, the climate, we are losing millions of human lives.
The lies is being told straight to our faces on this very vital topic, while at the same time they are stealing money from our own pocket. And the question is, why do we tolerate these lies about CO2? Please understand us correctly, we are not against CO2. We know that CO2 is growing. What is not true is that this tiny amount could affect climate.
Unfortunately, this information is not available in the mainstream because it doesn't fit the official narrative. But this is the information which will help us win this war.
It's hard to imagine a better control lever than carbon dioxide to essentially control society. You're trying to control everything from your transportation, how you live, what you eat, how you fly, your mobility, down to every last detail.
As a result, energy taxes and energy levies have been imposed under the guise of saving the planet, when in fact they are only meant to fill empty government coffers.
Why was our money wasted on air? And who will bring back the lives of people who died in disasters? The theory of anthropogenic climate change is scientific nonsense. That's why we don't care about it. We talk about the real causes of climate change and geodynamic because we stand for lives of everyone on the planet, everybody's life, even those corrupted Judas. Because we are people and we want to live.
We ask all scientists, especially quantum physicists, geophysicists, and astrophysicists, to join efforts in helping understand these external influences. Many lives are at stake, our entire civilization.
In order to get the politician on our side, we have to get the voting. In order to get the voting, we have to get together. And people don't understand. You know, they're taking care of abused women and abused children and abused this and that. Nice, but you know what? It's not going to change the world. It's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse.
Remember that every day of inaction in the consumerist format entails missed opportunities and lost human lives. Whereas every day of active informing about the creative society is a chance for saving people's lives and survival of the entire humanity.
Now, it is very important to bring to everyone the truth that was voiced at the forum, because only the truth encourages action, gives freedom and the opportunity for all of us to unite and change the consumerist format of society into a creative one.
And what does consumption take from us? The very philosophy and the very model of our society of consumption, it actually deprives us of what is the most valuable and the most important. It takes away our humanness and deprives us of life. It fills us with lies and basically turns all of us into slaves. People even say there are presidents and rulers out there, but aren't they slaves of the situation? After all, they also find themselves in conditions where they are not free. Isn't that so? Who among us is free in this world? Are those very priests actually free?
Hostages of the situation, yes.
Everyone is a hostage to the situation. And we take again, now we don't take climate, and we don't take the economy and crises that are raging. They're not raging, they're only starting. We take the very model that has been formed and has really turned us people into animals. So we are dependent here. We are enemies to each other, aren't we? We strive to exploit each other. There are sheer lies and sheer deception among us. But we all want to live honestly and rightly because it's a human need. What distinguishes a human from a beast is precisely this feeling which does exist, but many people have learned to suppress it. Many don't even use conscience, believing it's a rudiment, right? Unfortunately, this is so. Yet, now it so happened that we have to live at this time. We have come to it. And indeed, the climate is a great disaster today. This will affect everything. Here you see it is developing so far. Thank God it is not developing, you know, like a one-time event, so to say. It has destroyed and that's it. Unfortunately, people do not understand that we are still given time. Time is given for us to get cured of this beastly disease, for us to have time to become humans, for us to be able to do something. Isn't this mercy? It's a great mercy.
While there is still time, while there is still a chance, let's act and spread the word about the creative society. This is our chance to survive, the only one, the last. Because in the creative society we'll be able to predict cataclysms in time, but most importantly, we'll be able to find effective solutions to global climate change. It is a format of relationships where there are no lies, power and manipulation, because everything is for humans' benefit. It is the availability of resources and free energy. It is the only prospect for all humanity. Creative society is life. You can learn more about the Creative Society at creativesociety.com. Thank you for being with us today and see you soon on the Creative Society TV.